The meeting chamber of the Galactic Council was silent. It was not the peaceful kind of silence. It was the heavy, worried kind. 47 different alien species sat around the massive circular table. Each species had traveled across the stars to be here. Each one had built great civilizations. Each one thought they understood the galaxy. They were wrong. Ambassador Ellis of the Viridian Collective stood at her station. Her blue skin seemed pale in the dim light. Her 4 eyes stared at the holographic display in the center of the room. The display showed something impossible, a ship. But not just any ship. It was enormous. The sensors said it was over 15 kilometers long. That was bigger than most space stations, bigger than many moons. And it was moving fast, too fast for something so large. Where did it come from? Someone asked. The voice belonged to Commander Zillar. He was a Crithian, tall and covered in dark scales. His species had conquered 12 worlds. They thought they were strong. The Orion Spur, answered the lead scientist. She was a small creature with 6 tentacles, from an unmapped region. We have no records of any civilization there. Zillar laughed. It was a harsh, cruel sound. Unmapped? That region is primitive. Nothing there has even left their home systems. This must be a derelict. Some ancient ship floating dead through space. I do not think so, Ellis said quietly. She pressed a button. The display changed. Now it showed the energy readings from the ship. The numbers made no sense. Look at the power signature. It is using a gravity manipulation drive. The room erupted. Voices shouted over each other. Gravity manipulation was only a theory. The smartest scientists in the galaxy had tried to build such a drive. All had failed. It required too much energy, too much control. It was impossible. Silence. The council leader raised his hand. He was old even by the standards of his long-lived species. Show us more. The scientist worked quickly. New information appeared. We detected radio transmissions from the same star system. Very primitive. The kind a civilization makes when they first discover electricity. The signals are only about 500 years old. 500 years? Zillar stood up. Impossible. Our people needed 10,000 years to reach the stars. You are telling me these primitives did it in 500? That is what the data shows, the scientist replied. She looked nervous. There is more. The ship changed course 3 hours ago. It is now heading directly toward our border station at Proxima Outpost. Ellis felt her blood run cold. Proxima Outpost was home to 50,000 people. Researchers, traders, families. If this ship was hostile, we must respond with force, Zillar said. His hand rested on his weapon. Send our battle fleet. Destroy this ship before it reaches our territory. No. Ellis stepped forward. We do not know their intentions. Perhaps they come in peace. We should follow the first contact protocols. Send a diplomatic ship. Try to communicate, the council leader nodded slowly. Ambassador Ellis is correct. We are not barbarians. We will attempt peaceful contact first. But I see, he looked at Zillar. Have the defense fleet ready. Just in case. The vote was quick. Most agreed with peaceful contact. Some, like Zillar, wanted war, but the majority won. The diplomatic vessel Harmony's Voice would be sent to meet the unknown ship. Ellis volunteered to lead the mission. She had spent her life studying first contact scenarios. She had met dozens of new species. She had always found a way to communicate, to build bridges between different worlds. But as she boarded Harmony's Voice, she felt something she had never felt before. Fear. Real, deep fear. The journey to the intercept point took 2 days. The crew of Harmony's Voice prepared everything. Translation algorithms, cultural databases, gift packages, everything they might need for a peaceful meeting. On the view screen, they could see the approaching ship. It grew larger every hour. The design was unlike anything in the galactic database. Angular, aggressive. It looked like it was built for war. Ambassador, the sensor officer called out. I am detecting more ships. Smaller ones. They are escorting the large vessel. How many? Ellis asked. 37. No, wait. More are appearing. 41. 48. They keep coming. Ellis stared at the display. This was not a single explorer ship. This was a fleet. An organized military fleet. And they were all heading straight toward Council space. Magnify the lead ship, she ordered. The image zoomed in. On the hull, they could see markings, symbols, and a picture. A blue and green planet with white clouds swirling across its surface. That must be their homeworld, someone said. It looks beautiful. Beautiful and deadly, another voice added. Look at the weapons ports. I count over 200 on the main ship alone. Ellis took a deep breath. She activated the communication system. She sent out the universal greeting, mathematics prime numbers, the basic building blocks of logic that any intelligent species should recognize. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the communication panel lit up. A response was coming through, but not in mathematics, in language. Actual words. This is the United Earth ship Indomitable. We receive your greeting. We come in peace. Do you understand these words? The translation officer gasped. Ambassador, they are speaking in Viridian. Perfect Viridian. How is that possible? Before Ellis could answer, another message came, this time in a different language. Then another. And another. In total, the humans sent greetings in 47 different languages. One for each species in the council. They had learned all the languages. Somehow they had been listening, learning, preparing. This is Ambassador Ellis of the Viridian Collective, representing the Galactic Council. We welcome you to known space. We request a meeting to discuss peaceful relations between our peoples. The response was immediate. We accept. Our captain will meet with you aboard your vessel in 1 hour. Captain Sarah Chen of Earth sends her regards. Ellis looked at her crew. They all wore the same expression. Shock, wonder, and underneath it all, a growing sense of dread. These humans had crossed hundreds of light years. They had built ships that defied known physics. They had learned 47 alien languages. And they did all of this in just 500 years. What kind of species could do such things? And more importantly, what did they want? Ellis would find out in 1 hour. But something told her that the galaxy was about to change forever. The age of the Galactic Council's dominance was ending. A new power had arrived, and they called themselves humans. The docking bay of Harmony's voice was prepared for the meeting. Ellis stood at the entrance with 6 other crew members. They had prepared this room for first contact dozens of times before. But this time felt different. Through the window, they watched as a small shuttle approached from the Indomitable. It moved with precision, perfect control, the kind of flying that took years of practice. The shuttle docked. There was a hiss of air pressure equalizing. Then the door opened. Captain Sarah Chen stepped through. She was tall for her species, Ellis guessed. Her skin was a warm brown color. Her black hair was tied back in a practical style. She wore a dark blue uniform with symbols on the shoulders. Her eyes were sharp and observant. They took in everything in a single glance. Behind her came 4 other humans, 2 men and 2 women. They moved like soldiers, alert, ready for anything. Ambassador Ellis, Captain Chen said. She spoke perfect Viridian. Her accent was flawless. Thank you for agreeing to meet with us. It is an honor. She placed her right hand over her chest and bowed slightly. Ellis returned the gesture. It was the proper Viridian greeting. How did they know? The honor is ours, Captain. Welcome, please come this way. They moved to the conference room. It was a comfortable space with seats adjusted for different body types. The humans sat down gracefully. They seemed at ease. Captain Chen, Ellis began, we are curious. How did you learn our languages so quickly? Chen smiled. It was a warm expression. We have been listening to your communications for 150 years. We have observation posts in this region of space, small, hidden. They gather information. The Crithian military attaché who had come along stiffened. Spying? You admit to spying on us? Observing, Chen corrected gently. We wanted to understand the galaxy before revealing ourselves. We learned about your cultures, your histories, your conflicts. We wanted to be prepared. Prepared for what? Ellis asked. For survival, Chen said simply. We read about what happened to the Deltharian species, how the Crithian Empire conquered them, how they were enslaved because they were weak. We decided humanity would never be weak. The Crithian stood up angrily. That was legal conquest. The strong rule. That is the way of the universe. Not our way, Chen replied. Her voice was calm but firm. We believe in freedom, in choice. But we also believe in being ready to defend those things. Ellis quickly intervened. Let us speak of peaceful matters. Captain, you said you are on a routine patrol. What does that mean? We are mapping our colonial expansion zone, Chen explained. She pulled out a small device and projected a holographic star map. Humanity has claimed 23 star systems so far. We have colonies on 12 worlds, mining operations on 37 moons and asteroids. all within 50 light-years of Earth. Ellis felt her breath catch. 23 systems? In 500 years? Most species took thousands of years to colonize even 5 systems. The Crithian laughed mockingly. You claim much for a species we have never heard of. But claims are cheap. What weapons do you have to back up these claims? Your big ship might be impressive, but numbers matter in war. Chen turned to face him directly. Would you like the detailed specifications or just a summary? Try me, the Crithian sneered. Chen nodded to one of her officers. He pulled up more data. The Indomitable is a Colossus-Class Warship, 15.3 kilometers long, crew of 8,000. It carries 47 different weapon systems. Primary armament includes graviton lances that can create controlled singularities, kinetic accelerators that fire projectiles at 40% the speed of light, point defense systems using laser grids, and our shields are powered by controlled antimatter reactions. The room was silent. Ellis felt cold. Antimatter? Controlled singularities? These were weapons beyond anything the Council had. You are lying, the Crithian said, but his voice was uncertain now. We can demonstrate if you wish, Chen said calmly. There is an uninhabited asteroid field nearby. We would be happy to show you what our weapons can do. Ellis raised her hand. That will not be necessary. Captain Chen, I must ask, why does a species so young need such powerful weapons? You say you come in peace, but you bring tools of war. Chen's expression became serious. Ambassador, may I tell you about Earth? Please, Ellis said. Earth is what we call a death world. The gravity is high. The weather is extreme. We have storms that can destroy cities, earthquakes that split the ground, volcanoes that block out the sun, and the life there evolved to survive all of that. Predators with teeth and claws, diseases that can kill in days, plants with deadly poison. For 300,000 years, humanity struggled just to survive each day. She paused. We learned to make tools, to build shelters, to work together. We learned that the universe does not care about fairness. It only cares about strength. So we became strong, not just in body but in mind. We built weapons to hunt, then weapons to fight each other, then weapons to reach the stars. Building weapons is what we do. It is how we survived. The room was quiet. Every alien present was thinking the same thing. Their own homeworlds were gentle compared to what Chen described. Stable climates, peaceful evolution. They had never needed to fight so hard just to survive. We do seek peace, Chen continued, but we will never be helpless. We will never be conquered. We learned about the galaxy. We saw how species that appear weak get destroyed or enslaved. We chose to appear strong instead, strong enough that no one would dare attack us. Ellis understood now. Humans were not aggressive. They were cautious, defensive. They built their weapons not to conquer but to ensure they would never be conquered. Captain, Ellis said carefully, we have detected your ship, but our sensors suggest you are not alone. How many ships does humanity have? Chen smiled again. Currently, 19 Colossus-Class warships are operational. 43 more are under construction. We complete 2 new ships every month. Plus we have 300 destroyer-class vessels, 800 frigates, and about 5,000 various support craft. The Crithian sat down heavily. His entire civilization had only 800 major warships, and they thought they were powerful. There is one more thing, Chen said. She pulled up another file. We have mapped all of your military installations, defense platforms, fleet positions, supply lines here. She displayed everything, every secret the Council thought they had. The humans knew it all. We could have struck first, Chen said quietly. We could have attacked before you even knew we existed. But that is not who we are. We believe in giving others a choice. We choose to approach openly, to offer friendship, to build something together instead of alone. She stood up. The United Government of Earth proposes the following. We wish to join the Galactic Council as an equal member. We will share our technology. We will defend Council space from threats. We will trade. We will learn from each other. All we ask is respect and the freedom to continue growing. Ellis looked at the human captain. She saw no arrogance there, no desire for conquest, just determination and caution, and a deep desire to be left in peace. I will present your proposal to the Council, Ellis said, but I must warn you, not everyone will accept easily. Some may see you as a threat. Some may want to test your strength. Chen nodded. We expected that. We are prepared for whatever comes. But we hope for peace. We truly do. As the humans returned to their shuttle, Ellis watched them go. She needed to report to the council immediately, but she already knew what would happen. Some would want to accept the humans, some would want to fight them, and the galaxy would never be the same either way. The Galactic Council chamber was in chaos. Ellis had never seen anything like it in her 40 years of service. Representatives shouted at each other. Some demanded war, some begged for peace. Some simply sat in stunned silence. Order. The council leader's voice boomed through the chamber. We will have order. Slowly, the noise died down. Everyone took their seats, but the tension remained thick in the air. Let us review what we know, the council leader said. Ambassador Ellis, please summarize your report. Ellis stood. She felt tired. The weight of what she had learned pressed down on her. The humans have been watching us for 150 years. They have hidden observation posts throughout this region. They know our languages, our cultures, our military capabilities. All of it. Murmurs of anger rippled through the chamber. Ellis continued. They have colonized 23 star systems. They possess technology we believed impossible, and they have military forces that rival the combined strength of several council members. But, she emphasized, they approached us peacefully. They could have attacked without warning. Instead, they offered friendship. They want to join us, not conquer us. Commander Jalar stood up. His scales seemed darker in his rage. Lies, this is a trick. They want us to lower our defenses, then they will strike. We must act first. We must destroy them before they destroy us. With what? Another voice called out. It belonged to Defense Minister Tarek. He was a small, gray-skinned being with 4 arms. They showed us their weapons specifications. Our scientists analyzed them. The humans are telling the truth. Their technology is far beyond ours. If we attack, we will lose. Impossible, Jalar shouted. The Krithian Empire has conquered a dozen worlds. We are the strongest military power in the Council. Are you saying these primitives are stronger than us? Yes, Tarek said simply. That is exactly what I am saying. And they are not primitives. They are survivors. There is a difference. One of the scientists stood up. She was the same one who had first detected the Indomitable. I have more information. We intercepted old Earth transmissions, historical records. The humans fought a war in their own solar system 70 years ago. They call it the Belt Wars. It was fought between Earth and independent colonies in the asteroid belt. So they fight among themselves, Jalar said. That proves they are violent, dangerous. Let her finish, the council leader ordered. The scientist continued. The war lasted 3 years. Both sides used tactics we have never seen. Stealth attacks, psychological warfare, asymmetric strategy. They fought in 3 dimensions across billions of kilometers. The Belt forces lost, but only because Earth had more resources. If the resources had been equal, the outcome would be uncertain. She pulled up more data. After the war, both sides came together. They built the united government. They used what they learned to make their military even stronger. Every tactic, every strategy, every lesson was preserved and improved. The humans learn from conflict. They adapt. That is their greatest strength. Ellis felt a chill. A species that learned from every war would only become more dangerous over time. But that also meant they understood the cost of war. Perhaps that was why they sought peace. I move that we accept the humans into the council, Ellis said. They have shown good faith. They have power, yes, but they also have wisdom. They choose peace when they could choose war. That is the mark of a civilized species. I disagree, Jalar said coldly. They must be contained, limited. We should demand they reduce their military, dismantle their warships. If they refuse, we must force them. And how would we force them? Tarek asked. Commander, be honest. If war came, what would happen? Jalar was silent for a moment. Then he spoke. We would mobilize every fleet. The Krithian 4th Battle Fleet alone has 3,000 ships. Combined with council forces, we could field 10,000 vessels. Numbers matter in war. And the humans could track and target every single one, Tarek replied. They proved that. They know where all our ships are. They know our tactics, our strategies. Meanwhile, we know almost nothing about them. We would be fighting blind. The council leader raised his hand. We will vote. Those who support accepting humanity into the council signal now. 23 species voted yes. Ellis felt hope rise. Those who oppose? 18 species voted no. The hope faded. 6 species remained undecided. The vote is split, the council leader said. We need more time, more information. In the meantime, we will maintain peaceful contact with the humans. But we will also prepare defenses, just in case. Jalar stood abruptly. Then I will act independently. The Crithian Empire will not wait for the humans to show their true colors. We will be ready. He left the chamber. Several other representatives from the opposing faction followed him. Ellis felt dread settle in her stomach. She knew what would happen next. Shalar would see the humans as a threat. He would do something foolish, and the galaxy would pay the price. 3 days later, Ellis received a message from Earth's diplomatic mission. They wanted to demonstrate their weapon systems as a show of good faith. They would target an uninhabited moon. All council members were invited to observe. Admiral Marcus Thorne would be in command. He was the highest-ranking military officer in the human fleet. Ellis had read his file. He had fought in the Belt Wars. He had won battles others said were impossible. He was brilliant and terrifying. The demonstration was scheduled for the Kepler system. It was neutral space, safe, or so everyone thought, but Ellis had heard whispers. The Crithian 4th Battle Fleet was mobilizing. 3,000 ships, all heading toward the Kepler system. Jalar was planning something. She tried to warn the council leader, but he was too slow to act. By the time he authorized a response, it was too late. The Crithian fleet was already moving. Ellis sent an urgent message to Admiral Thorne. She told him about the Crithian fleet. She begged him to withdraw. To avoid conflict, his response was brief. Thank you for the warning, Ambassador. But we will not run. If the Crithians want to see what humanity can do, we will show them. But we will not fire first. That choice is theirs. Ellis boarded the observation ship with 200 other council representatives. As they traveled to the Kepler system, she could not shake the feeling that they were about to witness something terrible. When they arrived, the human fleet was already in position. 19 massive Colossus-Class warships hung in space like sleeping giants. Around them, smaller ships moved in perfect formations. Everything was calm, ordered, professional. Then the sensors picked up something else. The Crithian fleet. 3,000 ships. They emerged from hyperspace all at once. It was meant to be intimidating. A show of overwhelming force, but the human fleet did not move. They simply waited. A message came from Commander Jalar. It was broadcast to everyone. Humans, you are outnumbered 150 to 1. Surrender your vessels now. Submit to council authority, or be destroyed. There was a long pause. Then Admiral Thorne replied. His voice was calm, almost sad. Commander Jalar, we came here in peace. We offered friendship. But you have chosen to make threats, to show force. Very well. You want to know what humanity can do? You are about to find out. But know this, you made this choice, not us, and we will remember. Ellis watched in horror as Jalar gave the order to attack. 3,000 Crithian ships opened fire. The weapons demonstration was forgotten. A real battle had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The first wave of Crithian missiles lit up the darkness of space like a swarm of angry stars. Thousands of them, all heading toward the 19 human ships. Ellis gripped her chair on the observation ship. This was it. The humans would be destroyed. No matter how advanced they were, they could not survive this many weapons. But then the human point defense systems activated. Laser grids appeared like webs of light. Each laser was precise, accurate, deadly. The missiles began exploding. Not one or two, all of them. In seconds, the entire first wave was gone. The Crithian fleet fired again. Energy weapons this time, plasma cannons that could melt through ship hulls. They hit the human shields. There was a flash of light. When it cleared, the human ships were undamaged. Their shields held strong. Return fire, Admiral Thorne ordered. His voice was cold now. All warmth was gone. The Indomitable fired first. Its graviton lance created a small singularity directly in front of a Crithian battleship. The ship was pulled forward, crushed, gone in 3 seconds. Just like that. A vessel that had taken years to build was erased from existence. Then the other human ships opened fire. Kinetic rounds flew at 40% light speed. They hit their targets before the Crithian sensors could even detect them. Ships exploded, broke apart, scattered like dust in the void. They moved like one being, someone whispered on the observation ship. It was true. The human fleet moved in perfect coordination. When one ship fired, others covered its position. When one ship turned, others adjusted to maintain formation. There was no confusion, no hesitation, just perfect execution. Ellis watched the tactical display. In the first minute, 70 Crithian ships were destroyed. In the second minute, 140 more. The humans were not just winning, they were dominating. Jalar ordered his fleet to spread out, to surround the humans, to use their numbers. 3,000 ships formed a sphere around 19. Surely the humans could not defend in all directions at once. But then something strange happened. Small objects began launching from the human ships, thousands of them. They looked like tiny fighters at first, but they moved too fast. Too precisely, drones, the tactical officer said. Autonomous combat drones. The drones moved as a swarm. 10,000 of them. They did not attack randomly. They worked together. Some drew fire. Others struck from behind. Some jammed sensors. Others targeted weapons systems. It was like watching a predator hunt. Efficient, ruthless, beautiful in a terrible way. The Crithian formation began to break. Ships collided, trying to avoid the drones. Others turned to engage the drones and expose themselves to the Colossus ships. In trying to surround the humans, Jalar had spread his forces too thin. Captain Chen was right, Alis said quietly. They learned from their own civil war. They developed tactics for fighting when outnumbered. They are not surprised by this situation. They expected it. 20 minutes into the battle, 700 Crithian ships were destroyed. The humans had lost nothing. Not a single ship was even damaged. Jalar refused to retreat. His pride would not allow it. He ordered his ships to ram the human vessels if they had to. Some tried. The human point defense systems destroyed them before they got close. Then Admiral Thorne did something unexpected. He stopped firing. The human fleet went silent. The drones retreated. Everything became still. Commander Jalar, Thorne's voice came over the open channel. You have lost 700 ships in 20 minutes. At this rate, your entire fleet will be gone in 1 hour. Your people are dying because of your pride. Is that what you want? Is that what they deserve? There was silence. Then Jalar responded. His voice was shaking. You should have destroyed us all while you could. Why do you stop? Because we do not want to, Thorne said simply. We did not come here to kill. We came to show our strength. You have seen it. Everyone has seen it. The demonstration is over. Take your remaining ships, go home. Tell your leaders what happened here, and do not attack us again. Jalar was silent for a long time. Then he spoke. His voice was different now. Quiet. Defeated. If I retreat, what guarantee do I have that you will not follow? That you will not destroy our home worlds? You have my word, Thorne said. And I will prove it. We are going to show you something. Something we did not plan to reveal yet, but you need to understand what you are dealing with. Sensors across all the observation ships began beeping. New contacts were appearing. Large ones. From hidden positions throughout the nebula, ships began emerging from stealth. First one, then 5, then 20. They were all massive, even bigger than the Colossus-Class warships. Ellis felt her blood turn to ice. The 19 Colossus ships you see were never our main force, Thorne explained. They were the second wave. The first wave has been here all along. Watching, waiting, ready to strike if you destroyed our diplomatic vessels. One ship moved forward. It dwarfed everything else. 30 kilometers long, covered in weapons. Power readings that made no sense. It was like a moon had come to life. This is the UES Prometheus, Thorne said. Our Titan-class flagship. We have 3 of them. Each one carries enough firepower to destroy a planet. We built them not because we wanted to, but because we needed to be ready. For anything. The Prometheus did not fire. It simply existed. Its presence was message enough. Jalar gave the order to retreat. His remaining ships turned and fled. No one tried to stop them. The humans let them go, true to their word. When the Crithian fleet was gone, Admiral Thorne addressed the council observers. We apologize for the violence. We did not want this, but perhaps it was necessary. Now you know what humanity can do. Now you know we could destroy any of you if we wanted to. But you also know that we choose not to. We choose peace. We choose cooperation. That choice will never change unless you force us to change it. Ellis stood slowly. She activated her communication. Admiral Thorne, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I offer humanity a seat at our table. As equals, as partners, we would be honored to have you join us. There was a pause. Then Thorne responded, We accept. Thank you, Ambassador. Perhaps now we can build something better together. Around Ellis, other council representatives began sending their agreements, even those who had opposed humanity before. They had seen what happened when someone challenged the humans. They did not want to be next, but Ellis understood something deeper. The humans had won more than a battle today. They had won respect. Not through cruelty, not through conquest, but through controlled strength. Through mercy when they could have chosen vengeance. She thought about what Captain Chen had said. That Earth was a death world. That humans learned to survive impossible conditions. That they built weapons not for conquest but for protection. Now Ellis understood. The galaxy had been lucky. If humans had been conquerors, they would have swept through known space like a storm. Nothing could have stopped them. But they were not conquerors. They were defenders, survivors, and they would use their power to protect, not destroy. As the observation ship turned toward home, Ellis looked at the human fleet one more time. The Prometheus was disappearing back into stealth. The Colossus ships were reforming their patrol pattern. Everything was returning to normal, but nothing would ever be normal again. The galaxy had changed. A new power had emerged. And perhaps Ellis thought that was exactly what the galaxy needed. Someone strong enough to keep the peace. Someone wise enough to choose mercy over destruction. Someone like humanity. 6 months had passed since the battle at Kepler. The Galactic Council chamber looked different now. There was a new seat at the table. A human sat there. Ambassador James Rodriguez represented Earth and all its colonies. Ellis watched him from her own seat. Rodriguez was calm and professional. He listened more than he spoke. He offered help before making demands. In just 6 months, he had become one of the most respected voices in the council. The Crithian seat was empty. Commander Gilar had been removed from power by his own government. The shame of the defeat was too great. A new representative would arrive next week, one who understood the new reality of the galaxy. "We have a situation," the council leader said. He was old and tired, but his voice was still strong. "The Vex Collective has attacked 3 colony worlds on the galactic rim. They are a hostile force we have dealt with before. They raid, they destroy. They never negotiate." Several representatives spoke at once. Their colonies were under threat. They wanted protection, but council military forces were spread thin. It would take weeks to gather a defense fleet. Rodriguez raised his hand. The chamber fell silent. Everyone wanted to hear what the human would say. "The human fleet can respond," he said simply. "We have 3 Colossus-Class Warships in that region. They can reach the colonies in 2 days. We offer our help." If the council approves, the vote was unanimous. Even the species who had opposed humanity before voted yes. They had seen what the human fleet could do. If anyone could stop the Vex, it was them. 2 days later, reports came back. The human ships had arrived at the first colony. They had found 50 Vex warships preparing to attack. The Vex had opened fire immediately. They did not know about humans. They thought this was just another easy target. They were wrong. The battle lasted 11 minutes. All 50 Vex ships were destroyed or disabled. The human ships were undamaged. The colony was saved. 0 civilian casualties. The same thing happened at the other 2 colonies. The Vex learned quickly. After losing 130 ships in 3 encounters, they retreated from council space entirely. They sent a message. They would not return, ever. Ellis read the reports with wonder. Humanity had done in 3 days what the council had struggled with for years. The Vex threat was gone, just like that. But what impressed her most was what came next. The human ships stayed. They helped repair damaged structures. They shared supplies. They trained local defense forces. They did not just fight and leave. They helped rebuild. 3 months later, Ellis visited one of the saved colonies. She wanted to see for herself how the people felt about their human protectors. What she found surprised her. Human soldiers were playing with alien children. Human engineers were teaching local workers new construction techniques. Human doctors were sharing medical knowledge. There was no fear, no resentment, just gratitude and growing friendship. She met with Captain Chen again. The captain was overseeing the defense training personally. "You are doing more than protecting them," Ellis said. "You are helping them grow stronger," Chen nodded. "That is the point. We do not want to be the only ones who can defend the galaxy. We want everyone to be strong. Strong enough that threats like the Vex never succeed. Strong enough that no one can be enslaved again. Is that why you are sharing your technology? Ellis asked. She had heard the reports. Humans were giving away secrets that other species would guard jealously. Some of it, Chen said. Not the weapons technology. Not yet, but medical advances. Agricultural techniques. Construction methods. Things that make life better. We believe a strong galaxy is a peaceful galaxy. Ellis smiled. You really do want peace. I was not sure at first. Your weapons are so terrible. Your power so great. I thought perhaps you were hiding your true intentions. Our weapons are terrible, Chen agreed. We made them that way on purpose. So terrible that no one wants to fight us. So powerful that we never have to use them. That is the paradox of strength. The stronger you are, the less you need to prove it. Back at the council, things continued to change. Trade agreements were signed. Cultural exchanges began. Human scientists worked alongside alien researchers. They made discoveries together, solved problems together, built a better future together. The Colossus fleet became the council peacekeeping force. When pirates threatened trade routes, human ships responded. When natural disasters struck, human aid arrived first. When disputes arose between species, human mediators helped find solutions. Slowly, fear turned to respect. Respect turned to trust, and trust turned to friendship. 2 years after first contact, Ellis attended a ceremony on Earth. She was the first non-human to visit humanity's home world. She wanted to see the death world that had created such a remarkable species. What she saw amazed her. Earth was beautiful. Blue oceans, green forests, white clouds. But underneath the beauty was danger. She felt the heavy gravity pulling at her. She saw the massive storms on the horizon. She learned about the earthquakes and volcanoes, the predators and diseases. Everything Chen had described was real. But she also saw something else. Hope, determination, unity. The humans had survived their harsh world by working together, by never giving up, by always adapting. Those same qualities now helped them protect the galaxy. At the ceremony, Admiral Thorne gave a speech. He was older now. Gray hair showed at his temples, but his eyes were still sharp, still determined. 2 years ago, we revealed ourselves to the galaxy, he said. We were afraid. We did not know if we would be accepted or attacked. We prepared for the worst and hoped for the best. Today, I am proud to say that our hopes were realized. We have found not enemies, but friends. Not conflict, but cooperation. Not conquest, but community, he paused. But our work is not done. There are still threats out there. Still injustice. Still suffering. So we continue to build. Continue to grow stronger. Not for ourselves, but for everyone. We are no longer just humans. We are members of the Galactic Council, and we take that responsibility seriously. The crowd cheered. Humans and aliens together, united in purpose, united in hope. Later that evening, Ellis stood with Captain Chen on a balcony overlooking a human city. The light stretched to the horizon, millions of people living their lives in peace. I was so afraid when I first met you, Ellis admitted. Your ships were so big. Your weapons so powerful. I thought you would conquer us all, Chen smiled. Many people thought that. Some still do. But we learned something important in our history. Conquest is easy. Building something that lasts is hard. We chose the hard path, because that is what survivors do. We do not give up. We do not take shortcuts. We do what is right even when it is difficult. The galaxy is lucky to have you, Ellis said. No, Chen replied. We are lucky to have the galaxy. You gave us a chance. You trusted us when you had every reason not to. That trust is precious. We will never betray it. They stood in comfortable silence for a while. Then Chen spoke again. There is something I want to show you. Something new we are building. She pulled up a holographic display. It showed a massive shipyard in orbit around Earth's moon. Inside, a new type of ship was under construction. It was huge, but it had no weapons, no armor, no shields. What is it? Ellis asked. The first of our Explorer-class vessels, Chen explained. Built not for war, but for discovery. Not for destruction, but for creation. We are going to explore the unknown regions of space. Find new worlds, new resources, new friends. We spent so long preparing for conflict. Now we prepare for something better. For growth. For expansion. For peace. Ellis felt tears in her eyes. This was it. This was the proof she needed. Humanity was not conquerors. They were explorers, builders, dreamers, just like the best of every other species. When do you launch? She asked. 6 months, Chen said. We hope to have council scientists aboard. People from every species. Working together. Learning together. Building the future together. I would be honored to join, Ellis said. Chen smiled. Then welcome aboard, Ambassador. The age of human isolation is over. The age of human guardianship has begun. But more importantly, the age of true galactic unity is starting, and it starts with us together. Ellis looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Indomitable and its sister ships patrolled, protecting, defending, keeping the peace. The galaxy had been afraid when humanity arrived. Afraid of their power, afraid of their weapons, afraid of the unknown. But fear had given way to hope, and hope had given way to friendship. The humans had proven themselves, not through conquest but through service, not through domination but through cooperation, not through fear but through trust. The galaxy would face challenges ahead. New threats would emerge, new problems would arise, but now they would face those challenges together, united, strong, and led by the most unlikely guardians, a species from a death world who had learned the hardest lesson of all. That true strength lies not in the ability to destroy but in the courage to protect, not in the power to conquer but in the wisdom to build. Not in ruling through fear, but in leading through example. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. But that was okay. Because change, guided by wisdom and tempered by compassion, was exactly what the galaxy needed. The age of fear was over. The age of hope had begun, and it was beautiful.